Hi there everyone, and welcome. This is your host Pagawiggy, and today I'm starting a new series on dueling with specific weapons in Mordhau. The first will be the longsword. The format of this new series will be as follows. First, I will give a detailed guide of tactics and techniques to use with the weapon in question, highlighting the strengths and weaknesses of the weapon. Then, I will show you some duels with that weapon, both winning and losing duels, and explain what went wrong, and what were some good tactics during the battle. Well, let's begin. The longsword is pretty mid-tier when it comes to weapons in Mordhau. It has a good slash and stab speed, but loses out to lighter, smaller weapons in terms of speed. It's faster than most of the longer weapons in the game, with some exceptions like the Stock. The longsword also has medium damage, so it typically takes 1 to 4 hits to kill an enemy, depending on their armor type and where you hit them. You can decapitate a naked with 1 hit, or take up to 4 hits, slashing away at somebody's legs. A good tactic to use when fighting another player with a longsword or a weapon of similar damage and speed is to keep your distance and try to bait them to attack you, so you can either dodge or follow through with an easy hit. The fast attack speed of a longsword versus longer weapons means that you can miss your attacks as you close in and follow up with a quick combo, nailing a hit. For me, this is one of the hardest strategies to counter against any weapon in the game. Another really good tactic is to use drags against the enemy when you have a chance. The longsword is fairly fast in attacking, so you will need to make your accels look like drags and vice versa. To do this, move in close to your enemy and make it appear as though you're going to accel into them. Then, pull away into a drag as you start your windup. If they were expecting you to accel, you should be able to bypass their parry for a hit. Better yet, when using this tactic, it allows you more time to react to their parry. This, however, also makes you more susceptible to more aggressive advanced players who will see through this technique and relentlessly attack you through it. In addition to drags, don't forget to morph into a drag off of a chamber, like this. This is fantastic for throwing off your enemy even further, and naturally, combining these with other techniques in a randomized pattern will give you the best results. Throwing off your enemy is key in Mordhau, and also, don't forget to use that alternate attack mode if all else fails for getting in closer and changing up your swing speeds. This will throw off your enemy even more, giving you a better chance in battle. Keeping your distance is perhaps the best strategy for dealing with closer range weapons like the arming sword in Mordhau as well. If you are able to hit them and keep your distance well, they are probably not going to be able to reach you without some decent footwork. Establish dominance against users of smaller weapons by keeping them away from you. Use chamber morphs and kicks when they get very aggressive and continually back off if need be. For the fastest weapons in the game like the dagger, it can be hard to use chambering and other essential techniques when you're close to an enemy. If continually backing off and kicking at them isn't working, you can try chamber morph escape charges or a regular old escape charge to get away from the enemy when they're too close. If they still persist and keep getting close to you, your best option is to be very aggressive. Don't wail about without reason, but try to outmaneuver your enemy and attack with every opportunity you get. My favorite method for dealing with small arms users is to combine keeping my distance with extreme aggression. When they cross my boundary, with every opening I see, I attack them, and then I try to get away. They generally retaliate, and I'm usually waiting for this so that I can stab them with either a quick combo or well-timed attack right afterward. These small arms techniques are also superb for fighting shield users. And the alternate mode, the Mordhau grip, is also amazing for dealing with close quarters combat situations. Its slower swings can change up your enemy's pacing, allowing you to nail hits on them. When fighting against longer weapons with the longsword, you need to be a little bit more careful. You are now the one that needs to push in for the attack, and they can hit you at ranges that you can't even touch them. Sort of like in the situation that you were dealing with when you were fighting the dagger users. They'll try to use the same techniques against you. Against pole weapons, moving in close is a very good option if you are willing to be aggressive. Against slow swinging weapons like the Halberd, slow drags and fast accels can be tricky to deal with, but you just need to pay attention to their weapon as it comes in. The closer you get to the polearm user, the less likely they are to rely on drags, especially really long drags, so expect them to use fast accels instead. If your enemy is still dragging a lot, even though you are close to them, try chambering everything to see if you can call their bluffs. Typically at these close ranges, you'll have the upper hand if you just continue on the attack. Yet again, Even against polearms, the Mordhau grip will serve you right. Use it just like described in the other examples and you should fare very well. Well, now let's check out some duels and see how we can improve on our dueling effectiveness with the longsword. In this first fight against Dank, I do a fairly good job at keeping my distance. First I let him strike, and then I go in for the attack. My biggest mistake here was morphing my attack. I should have followed through with the initial strike, but I follow up nicely by chambering him and dragging the stab chambers away, getting a hit and then backing away. Here's where things become difficult and he begins to drag his attacks, and becoming a lot more randomized. I stay aggressive while he's hiding his windups. That results in him getting easy hits on me, and in the end, his fakes finally trick me and I die. In this next fight, I take on Nosam, the badass that I remember from the alpha. In this fight, I fare pretty well, not attacking at his feints and blocking all of his attacks fairly well, even his morphs. He ends up getting some hits on me by using some randomized motions, but in the end, I keep my eye on him and parry while staying on the attack, finally getting him with a stab at the end. Nosam was a lot better with the maul rather than the sword that he was fighting me with here. In this last clip, I'm up against Dank again, but here I get a little bit of retribution. He isn't moving as much as earlier, and because of this, I'm able to keep him where I want him, exploiting the longer reach of the longsword, while employing some nice chamber feints and finally some morphs to get a kill on him. Well, thanks so much for watching, you guys. If you liked the video, please subscribe, like, and comment for more content like this. Go ahead and vote down below for the weapon that you'd like me to cover in the next episode. And again, I thank you all so much for watching. Keep getting better at Mordhau, and I will see you next time.